Hi everybody, so in this video I'm going to be looking at Sniper Elite V2 Remastered on the Steam Deck. As far as I'm aware, the original Sniper Elite V2 doesn't work on the Steam Deck, or at least I couldn't get it to work on the Steam Deck. So Sniper Elite V2 is a stealth single-player World War II game set in Berlin, right at the end of the war, and you're playing as Carl Fairburn, an OSS operative, and you've got to go and you've got to complete various missions. And we're going to be sort of trying to answer the question, does it run well on the Steam Deck, and is it a worthwhile game to buy on the Steam Deck as well? And I'd say to both of those, actually, it is yes, but we do need to start off by changing some things because the default configuration for the controls isn't very good. And in fact, you get the wrong tips on the screen. So, for example, when I go into the pause menu, it says A back and A select, which is something, obviously, we don't want. So what you want to do is you want to press the Steam button and you want to go into the game menu and you want to go into control settings down there. And we want to change the layout from the official one. And don't get confused, the problem with lots of these official layouts is they're not the official layout for the Steam Deck. It might appear that they are, but they're not. They're the official configuration for the Steam controller, which is a controller that came out several years ago that is often the default for games that have been published and haven't really been updated since the Steam Deck was released. So it might say official layout, but it's not actually for the Steam Deck. It's for the Steam controller, which has buttons that are differently configured. So what we do is we go into here and we go over to templates and we just go to gamepad with trackpad and press A to select that. We press X to apply the layout. And what we'll now have is that will give us the basic controls. But one of the oddities about Sniper Elite V2 is that compared to modern games, the aim down sight and the soft aim or the shoulder aim are reversed. So to aim down sight in the default settings is L1, where normally in modern games it's L2. So while we're here, what we can do is we can edit the layout. So we go to the layout and we can go to the triggers and we can go to L2 soft pull and we can just select that and we can actually L2 soft pull, we want that to be the left bumper. Because we want that to be ADS. And then if we go back and go to the buttons and then we go to L1, we want that to be the trigger. So we just choose trigger. And then if we come out of that, you'll see now that this has been customized by myself. So now it says scale speeder at the top. And then we go back into the game. It's now just as we expect. So when I press left trigger, it aim down sight. When I press left bumper, it does a soft aim. So as far as performance goes, we're currently getting about 80 frames a second. If we go into the settings, go into the options, display, and we go into, so graphics details is set to ultra, which basically I think means everything's up to ultra apart from anti-aliasing. And we've got motion blur on, ambient occlusion on, compute shaders on, and VSync on as well. And it runs very, very smoothly. In fact, I would probably recommend going in and having it at 60 frames a second, then you're really going to get a 60 frames per second locked in most situations, which is very, very smooth indeed. And what I find is with these older games where they maybe don't look that great when you're playing them on your computer or even on your console or something like that, on a monitor basically or on a television, they look much, much better on the Steam Deck because I guess all the pixels are closer together, so they look higher resolution. And also, being the Steam Deck OLED model, this one, your darks are darker, so your blacks are blacker, but things like the fire and the flames looks absolutely fantastic. So it seems to run very well as soon as you change the controllers over. As far as is Sniper Elite V2 Remastered a good game? Absolutely, absolutely. You could argue and that Sniper Elite V2 is up there as probably, for me, it could be my second favourite Sniper Elite game. And the reason for that is that Sniper Elite V2 is very linear. So Sniper Elite sort of 3, 4 and 5 are very open world, so you wander around and you do lots of things. You choose which order you want to do stuff, but sometimes you can kind of get a little bit lost and you're wandering around thinking, what should I do next? And sometimes especially in like Sniper Elite 5, sometimes you can do things kind of out of order and it doesn't really kind of make sense. Or in Sniper Elite V2, this isn't an open world Sniper Elite. This is very much linear. So you go down the city streets of Berlin or through buildings, but you're going from A to B, planting bombs, killing people, defending areas, staying alive, that sort of stuff. Generally trying to be stealthy, because that's what Sniper Elite's kind of about until you get into the problems. And so it's a simpler kind of game. So it's up there. The only thing that kind of lets Sniper Elite V2 down is it can be quite buggy at times in terms of what the AI soldiers, what the enemies do. Sometimes they can do things that are a little bit odd, and that's definitely been improved in the later games. But I would definitely say if you're intrigued by the Sniper Elite series and you see Sniper Elite V2 Remastered going cheap, or even the whole package where you get Sniper Elite V2 Remastered, Sniper Elite 3, Sniper Elite 4, and maybe even Sniper Elite 5 at the time, if you get that for a reasonable price, I would say dive in, because they're very enjoyable single-player games, and that can be quite rare these days, can't it? Because devs all seem to be and publishers especially seem to want online multiplayer, service type games, and this definitely isn't that sort of thing. I remember this is the engine they use for one of the greatest single player games of all time, Zombie Army Trilogy. So Sniper Elite V2 Remastered runs great on the Steam Deck, and is a really good game to play, especially if you're into your World War II stuff. And of course it's most famous for, let's see if I can get one. No, we couldn't get one, could we? Right, we've probably alerted the other soldiers that were over there, so they'll have seen me. What I should have really done was gone up to that fella and get him with a stealth kill. Let's see if we can get a bullet time. It'll probably mean that the video gets demonetized, but... yeah. They know what's going on, don't they? Ooh, where are they going? You can get killed very quickly. There we go. I think the bullet time engine in Sniper Elite V2 and Zombie Army Trilogy are definitely the best ones. Where's that fella gone? Fantastic. Anyway, that's enough from me. Sniper Elite V2 Remastered, highly recommended on the Steam Deck. Get it in the sale, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much, and that's enough from me.